The Sabi Sands Game Reserve, a vast mosaic of 65,000 hectares, an untamed scar on the body of the greater Kruger. It is here, where the Sand River, the vital artery of the reserve, snakes through the bush veld, that the crude and brutal law of the great predators is written. The only currency of this realm is territorial dominance, and a lion's existence is nothing more than a constant, desperate audition for power. The statistics are merciless. The average tenure of a dominant male is only 2 to 4 years. Every dynasty eventually falls. But every king, before taking his throne, must first be a child of exile. In the year 2017, 2 males were cast into this crucible, Makhunga and Kashane, the formidable duo known today as the Plains Camp Males. Their story is not one of chance, but of ultimate ambition, forged by absolute necessity. Their early years were marked by unmatched security, developing under the shield of one of the most feared coalitions in Sabi Sands' recent history, the Makhunga. 5 males, true alpha beasts, who, by their sheer presence, personified the super coalition. This great number of protectors offered them more than safety. It gave them a vital education in survival. Makhunga and Kashane observed the complex social hierarchy, the coordinated defense, and the seismic volume of roaring required to hold a territory that stretched from the western fence to the heart of the central sector. Biology is clear. More than 70% of lion coalitions are composed of brothers or cousins. This brotherhood, this genetic bond, is a fundamental survival strategy against the high risk of infanticide, the single largest cause of cub mortality. The cubs knew instinctively that their father's strength meant their very lives. But power structures are fragile and genetically doomed. By 2020, the Mantha-male coalition had fractured. From 5, only 2 remained, exhausted, bearing scars from previous battles, and isolated. They could not withstand the relentless push of the younger, powerful coalition, the Southern Avoca. The reign collapsed in a series of confrontations on the southern border near the Mala Mala line. With it, all protection vanished. Makhunga and Kashane, barely 3 years old and sexually immature, were driven out. Their survival boiled down to adopting a specialized strategy: deep seclusion and the cover of night. They mastered the art of low visibility, moving along unstable boundaries, actively avoiding large concentrations of herbivores, and above all, the Sand River thickets, the open highways that only dominant males dare to use. They became masters of opportunistic hunting, forced to rely on their bond to bring down difficult prey, such as young buffalo or warthogs, prey that a single lion could never immobilize. This period of starvation and extreme stress forced their bodies into accelerated evolution, maximizing every genetic advantage. As they transitioned into their 5th year, the evidence of their hardship transformed into a symbol of power. Their manes, initially a youthful blonde, darkened to a deep, intimidating black, especially around the neck and chest. A darker mane is a direct biological signal studied by ecologists of high testosterone levels and superior health, visible to both rivals and potential mates. A dark mane also forces the lion to absorb more heat, an unmistakable sign of superior endurance in the scorching Sabi Sands climate. They had passed the test. They were now physically prepared for the next phase, not just survival, but territorial conquest. In 2021, their ambition led them north into the heart of the Unhumhuma territory. The infiltration was a calculated risk. They quickly secured mating rights with 2 females. The primary imperative for a dominant male is reproduction. They have a window of only 2 to 3 years to leave their genetic mark before being replaced. By mating, they were laying the foundation for the Plains Camp dynasty. Months later, their legacy was cemented. 2 cubs, the first official offspring of the Plains Camp males, living proof that their exile and the struggle had paid off. To move from temporary fathers to permanent kings, a decisive statement was needed. That statement came against Ndzhenga Birmingham and his son, remnants of a previous coalition. Ndzhenga represented the fading authority of a vanishing generation. The confrontation was swift, brutal, and merciless. But it was not just strategy. It was the inheritance roaring in their blood. In that decisive moment, the instinct of the great Mantha warriors, their fathers, awoke within them. They did not fight just for territory, but driven by the genetic legacy of dominance. Makhunga and Kashane imposed their will, inflicting severe and permanent wounds upon the aging Ndzhenga. In the lion's world, an injury that prevents hunting or defense is a death sentence. It is ultimate defeat. This victory opened the floodgates. They swept across the landscape, annexing vast areas and conquering the Mangani, Chimungwe, and Othawa prides. The result was the creation of an empire. They were officially the undisputed kings of the largest territory in Sabi Sands, spanning up to 100 square kilometers. The Plains Camp males built their empire not on diplomacy, but on intimidation and aggression. Tracker reports detail their absolute ruthlessness. They actively sought out and eliminated competition. Their dominance was absolute. Any lioness who defied their authority or tried to hide cubs sired by another male risked severe punishment. This behavior ensured the pride structure remained rigid, loyal, and focused exclusively on the propagation of their genes. Biology is unforgiving. Over 25% of cub mortality is caused by infanticidal males. Any cubs sired by the defeated males must be eliminated to bring the lionesses into estrus faster, speeding up the propagation of the new lineage. Makhunga and Kashane understood this brutal law implicitly, ensuring their dynasty thrived. Their vast territory became a magnet for conflict. In 2023, the last remaining Tumbela male crossed the line. The Plains Camp response was clinical. They tracked him mercilessly to the airstrip, an open area they use as a rendezvous point. There, they delivered a fierce beating, permanently expelling him. Simultaneously, pressure intensified from the veteran Ndzhenga coalition. Although older and heavier, the Ndzhengas were cunning and persistent, constantly testing the borders near Londolozi. The Plains Camp initially opted for de-escalation, a strategic retreat in the eastern sector. But when the Ndzhengas dared to invade their core territory, the Plains Camp confronted them, unleashing fierce chases across the Central Plains. The ultimate threat came from the south in the form of the powerful, rapidly expanding Gijima coalition. These 2 males were immense, considered genetically superior, relentless, and absolutely determined to carve out their own empire. The clash was inevitable, and it nearly cost them everything. Far from their core territory, the Gijimas ambushed Makhunga in a devastating 2-on-1 attack. Makhunga survived the ambush but was left with a severe gaping wound on his hind leg. The image of the Plains camp leader, visibly battered but alive, confirmed their greatest asset: resilience. Their ability to recover and return to patrol is legendary. The attack forced a temporary retreat, a regrouping, but not surrender. In the world of the lion, a wound is just a pause before the next battle. The Plains camp males today face the ultimate test: longevity and legacy. They must protect their extensive territory while ensuring that their genes and their own cubs survive the next wave of invaders. The geopolitical stage is set for a three-way showdown. The brute force and speed of the Plains camp, the colossal size of the Gijimas, and the experience and veteran persistence of the Ndzhengas. Who will survive the coming war? Who will ultimately sire the next generation of kings? For now, the savannah is silent. The void between the roars is the sound of anticipation. Makhunga and Kashane, the kings forged in exile, continue their relentless defense of the throne. If this story has captivated you, subscribe and share it with your friends. Together, let's uncover the stories and legends of these kings.